The book is Twilight in America, the untold story of Islamic terrorist training camps inside America. You know, I can imagine if the Ku Klux Klan had terror training camps in this country, they would be shut down, all hell would break loose. But when there's Islamic terror training camps right now, hundreds of them inside of America, we don't pay much attention to it, do we?
Well, not only do we not pay much attention, we don't do anything to shut them down. I spoke to a former undercover police informant for the NYPD who spent 8 years inside of these camps. He said, look, these guys were born and bred, many of them, right into these camps. They've been trained their whole life to want nothing more than to fight a holy war against America. And that is what they're training to do.
Does law enforcement in this country know where they're located? I think we could chart almost every square yard in this country. Do we know where they are?
Well, they continue to expand. I think law enforcement, depending on which one we're talking about, the FBI for sure, knows where a majority of the camps are. But they are ever expanding. They have bought up property in America. Some of these camps are as big as 80 acres. The one in California, before it was shut down, was 300 acres big. They take their money and they continue to buy up more and more property. So to say they know exactly where they are at all times and which property they're buying up and have bought up since they last checked on them could be very confusing. They're very, very difficult to track. Once they own a piece of property, say in Hancock, New York, which is where their headquarters is, they begin to buy outlying areas around Hancock and around that compound to make their presence even larger. So some of them are villages, some are just small areas, but some of them are very large compounds.
And I would assume the Justice Department here and Obama doesn't see this as a clear and present danger, correct?
No, it's interesting. Whenever the FBI, local FBI, starts to heavily investigate any one of these particular camps, if they get too far in their investigation, they are always, you can count on it, always pulled off the investigation and told to leave it alone. It's a shocker. It's one of the more frustrating things for, say, me to explain, but I do know that from local law enforcement officials and FBI officials who have told that they've been instructed to leave these camps alone if they get too heavily involved in looking at them.
When something happens in the Middle East, which surely will happen soon, if not later on, there'll be some other crises in the Middle East from Hamas or Hezbollah or Syria or Iran. Will these training camps get orders to march against us internally?
Well, sure. They are what's called fifth pillars. They are just terrorist groups that have peppered the United States, and they're waiting for a bigger event to happen, and under instructions, in this case, from overseas, to act. It's just a matter of time. It's not a question of when. You know, Ali Aziz, who was an undercover agent for the NYPD, said, look, these guys are very well trained. They're ready to act. They have the weapons. They have the training. They're just waiting on orders from Sheikh Jelani in Pakistan to pull that trigger. And as you mentioned, they're so loyal to this sheikh. If he told his members to set themselves on fire, indeed they would set themselves on fire. They will do what Sheikh Jelani tells these members to do in the United States.